Let's address the sabotage first. You know Kellyanne Conway? Oh, everybody over there picking up what am I being? Producer Jim, you text me. You get where I'm going with this? I'm a collapsing, rotting meat bucket right now. But my brain still works okay. So I'm going to say to Kellyanne and others, it's time to pipe down. You've been warned.
In case anybody anywhere had any doubts whatsoever that things are going quite poorly for the Republican Party, look no further than this. Infamous Trump supporter and former Fox News host Dan Bongino publicly threatened fellow Trump supporter and top Trump advisor Kellyanne Conway because Bongino believes that Conway is part of an elaborate conspiracy to sabotage Donald Trump's campaign because she doesn't like JD Vance. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we have several clips to talk about in this video, and a couple of them are pretty unhinged. It's the Dan Bongino stuff. We're actually going to launch straight into it here, but for context, Dan Bongino is a former Fox News host. He's a major conservative live streamer. He is a strident supporter of Donald Trump, and apparently, to a disturbingly emotional degree, he's quite the enthusiast for JD Vance. We're going to play this clip, which is relatively long, then play another one and unpack it all together. But brace yourselves because he's kind of weird.
Let's address the sabotage first. So this morning, I'm sitting here, I'm putting the show together, and it's late. This is probably the latest cut I ever sent over to my team, right before I walked upstairs. And I said, guys, you got to put this in the show. I see this Daily Mail article, August 14, 2022. I believe that's today, right? Inside Trump's meltdown. The ex-president is lighting up his staff because he's pissed about picking JD Vance, as insiders feel he's going to fire two extremely talented campaign gurus. Martha Williams, Daily Mail. Again, I was going to let this go, not because I didn't want to put it out there or expose it, but because I want to stay focused on winning, and I felt like it was a distraction. And all I care about is cutesy time being over and winning. I care about ruthless political tactics. That's all I care about. However, this is getting tiresome. Folks in the chat, any idea what's going on with this article? You know Kellyanne Conway? I'm hearing some people for a while now that she's probably not that happy about JD Vance being picked. I'm telling you, I talk to people a lot who know a lot of things. This story, put that headline up again, is bullshit. And ladies and gentlemen, it's no secret I like JD Vance. I'm telling you this with absolute objectivity. I have not spoken to JD Vance about this, but I have spoken to other people. This story about President Trump being upset about picking JD Vance is bullshit. It is absolute bullshit. He killed it on this weekend show. Of course, there was going to be an oppo drop after JD Vance was picked. If they picked Rubio, Bergram, or Tim Scott or anyone else, there was going to be an oppo drop. JD Vance smooth sailed right through that, crushed it on the weekend shows, and is now lighting up the internet with viral clips. This story's BS.
So, kind of get a flavor for this. I mean, I have no idea why this guy is no longer employed at the Fox Propaganda Network. He seems like he'd fit in just fine. I mean, both in terms of the strength of his convictions and the passion with which he believes things, and also his just general, obvious, tangible mental instability. But you have that right. This is about JD Vance. Dan Bongino's a big fan of JD Vance. He thinks that JD Vance is crushing it. Even though the polls and focus groups and voter surveys, all of that says all the evidence says that like that's not happening. But if you're a conservative and you just really believe a thing, it really doesn't matter what the evidence says, right? Sure, JD Vance is polling as the least liked, least popular vice presidential candidate in American history. And my God, we had Dick Cheney, right? Doesn't matter. I just feel like he's crushing it. But Kellyanne Conway, she's behind this. She's behind this leak. She's trying to sandbag and kneecap JD Vance. So then, later on in the unhinged rant, Dan Bongino drops all pretense and finally threatens a fellow Trump supporter and top Trump advisor who, for all my enormous dislike of Kellyanne Conway, she's enormously talented. But again, I love the fact that the Republicans are infighting, so I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. But here you go. Here's Dan Bongino fuming, where he eventually threatens Kellyanne Conway.
Everybody over there picking up what am I being? Producer Jim, you text me. You get where I'm going with this? You thought I was going to be quiet about this, didn't you? You thought like, oh, he'll just let it go. Listen to me. The Bongino army is the most powerful force right now in conservative politics. Just a fact. It's just a fact. Thanks to you, not to me. I'm only one guy. There's nothing powerful about me. I need a knee replacement. My shoulders don't work. I can barely bench press 150 pounds anymore. I'm falling apart. I'm a collapsing, rotting meat bucket right now. But my brain still works okay. And I am a foot soldier in an army full of people that has grown very powerful. We are the biggest conservative live streamer in the world. It's not even a close second anymore. You don't have to like it. I don't really give a shit. But me and my peeps, we're not going to take this lying down. So I'm going to say to Kellyanne and others, it's time to pipe down. You've been warned. So I'm going to say to Kellyanne and others, it's time to pipe down. You've been warned. Sides and downsides like any other pick, but he's fantastic. He's been doing great, and the leaks got to stop. You know that story's bullshit. The president, they love JD Vance. You're making this up. These are leaks designed to sabotage the campaign because there's a whole lot of money to be made by making sure you get people interested in funding your endeavors in that position. I'm really sorry to have to bring this up, folks. We should be focused on winning.
No, please, by all means, continue on this particular tangent. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. This guy might be the most unhinged Republican I've seen. And we've seen Marjorie Taylor Greene. We've seen Lauren Boebert. We've seen Donald Trump. It's impressive. It's amazing how we really don't have any prominent counterparts in the Democratic Party, right? My party, our party viewer, based on all probability you're a Democrat watching, we don't seem to have these weirdos. Very strange stuff. And this will not help them, speaking of weirdos, beat the weirdo allegations. So yeah, that's Dan Bongino, strident Trump supporter, major conservative live streamer, former Fox News host, publicly threatening a top Trump advisor and fellow Trump supporter because he believes that she's part of this Machiavellian scheme to sabotage Donald Trump, a man whom she supported in 2016, 2020. She served as an advisor in his White House. She continues to stump and, use her sinister, unholy talents on his behalf. But apparently she dislikes JD Vance so much, this is part of an attempt to torpedo the Trump campaign. I don't know if Kellyanne Conway is going to respond to this. I think it would be wildly entertaining. I hope somebody brings it up to her. But yeah, this just goes to show how truly fragile and scattered the Republican Party is. And we need to see more of it. Let me know what you think in the comments.